So first we're going to the options menu and remove the enemy units from the map, and we make sure superior fleet is set. The other options are all fine, and we're going to play a level of the map without any enemy to start with. The objective of the game is to last as long as possible. Normally you keep the enemies on, but I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So you left drag select or left click on infantry or tanks to select them, and then you right click where you want them to move. The infantry can build things. The regular infantry can build sentry guns, barbed wire and tank traps. They build one sentry gun at a time, or you can get a group of them to build a sentry gun, or if you build a tank trap or razor wire, they will continue building tank traps and razor wire in the general area where you put them when you set them to do so. Only regular infantry can build things. Barbed wire is useful against enemy infantry, and tank traps stop enemy tanks and your own tanks from being able to move around. They form little obstacles on the map. Terrain has cover effects, so if you're walking around in forest, it's harder to get shot by normal rifle fire and so on. Smoke that's on the map also prevents you from being shot easily. The research facility lets you build various tech upgrades, so I'm upgrading my damage of my units. The infantry barracks can build 3 different types of infantry. Regular infantry, melee infantry and defender infantry who have shields. So I'm just placing my men around the base. I'm going to build a few melee infantry and a few defenders in a little while. The defender infantry is got a powerful gun against tanks and has a shield that can block incoming fire. The space fort lets you build spaceships for the little space battle that's going on. If you run out of spaceships in the space battle, then an orbital bombardment starts that starts blowing up your base. You can upgrade your infantry to medics or engineers or heavy gunners or sergeants. And medics heal other infantry, engineers repair buildings and also put out flames. You can request more infantry by air support, so that's what just arrived just there, and that always brings regular standard red infantry. Just move some of these men around, walk through the forest.
Deployed for combat, sir.
Set some of them to a sergeant. When you make one a sergeant, the other infantry join them up to a squad of 5 and they follow them around. So every time you create a sergeant, it grabs the nearest 4 unsquad grouped infantry and puts them into a group, and then they walk around and follow. They also fight better as a squad. They get little bonuses to their defense and attack values. Tanks can be built there, and walker mechs can be built there. They're heavier buildings, vehicles that can take more damage and can put out more damage as well. We'll request some more infantry to arrive. Night has fallen, and so the map becomes dark at night. Okay, so I'll go into the options and I'll turn on the enemy units. I'll change the difficulty so that increases the size of the enemy waves. We'll hit back to continue. And on the mini-map you will see there's a whole host of enemies that are now pouring on the map. Normally there'd be smaller waves to start with, but because I waited so long before I turned any enemies on, they come in a larger wave. This is the F5 view mode. You press F5 and the computer takes control temporarily of your units and it shows it from a more cinematic view. And you press F5 again and it toggles it back to the main RTS map.
Keep your head down.
So the enemy are attacking my base. At the moment there's a bunch of them that are attacking my radar. If my radar disappears, my mini-map will also fade out to static. Likewise, the spaceport. If the spaceport disappears, I'll lose information about what's going on in the space battle. So the radar is destroyed, so I no longer have a mini-map. I'm setting my infantry to engineer so I can put out the fires. All you have to do is get an engineer and walk them over the flames, or put them near a building and the building is being repaired.
Another gunner ready for combat.
So the blue glowy effect is indicating that healing or repairing is going on. Medics and engineers cause that to happen when they're healing things. Another wave of enemy infantry is arriving, and there'll probably be some tanks soon as well. Press F5 again to go into the ground view. Show the map closer to the ground view. And my buildings are gradually being destroyed. Still got power generators cause your buildings to build more quickly. Your infantry and your tanks and your vehicles build more quickly when you've got more power generators. You start with 2 and each one you lose reduces how quickly you can build things. The game is over, I lost the battle in 7 minutes and 38 seconds. So it'll go to mission debriefing screen where it tells you how many losses the enemy had, who your best soldier was, and it lists each of your casualties with their kills. There's a number of different scenarios. So the first scenario is a small skirmish where you've got some infantry and a few buildings. And some of the scenarios have different setups. So yeah, there's 7 scenarios, all slightly different. And the options are, as you can see, the damage and the hardest difficulty determines how many waves of enemy come on and how much damage that shooting does. And